Alright, guys, we are back with another episode of the Give Him Six podcast, and it's Elijah.
It's Carson.
And we have a very special guest with us today. We have the great Vols quarterback, Tony Robinson. He's been on with us a couple of times before, and he is back with us again. So, how are you doing, Mr. Robinson?
I'm good, Elijah. How about you and Carson? You guys doing pretty good?
How are you doing, Carson?
I'm doing good. Doing really good. Glad to have you back on.
Good. I mean, I can do better, you know. Just a shame we're not playing a bowl game this year.
Yes, it really is.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Yes,
sir. Let's do what you got to do. So,
yes, sir.
What's up with you guys tonight?
Will you mind repeating that, Tony? I didn't think we.
I said, well, what do you guys want to talk about tonight?
Well, we're going to talk about the football game a little bit. We'll talk about some of the basketball, but you know, I really thought that this Tennessee game it was a disappointment. You know, Vanderbilt's now beat us 5 out of 7 years, and this is our last football post-game episode of the season. And
yeah, man. Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
That's a bummer there.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, we talked about.
You there, Cars?
Yeah.
All right. Yep.
Well, Carson was saying something, but he broke up on me.
Yeah, it kind of cut off, Cars. Say what you're saying again.
Can you hear me?
There you go.
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah. Go. Repeat
right.
what you just said. Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying, you know, we said last episode that we were going to maybe get another post-game show for a bowl game, but that just didn't go our way Saturday.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. We didn't play like we didn't play to win, man. We didn't want to win this past, Saturday, man. We just, I don't know, man, what happened with them.
I really think that it came down to, were we really out there playing for a bowl game, or were we really just out there flat? And I think we played flat. Vanderbilt was out there, and they were moving the ball on us. We couldn't stop them. You know, we should have been able to move the ball downfield, but I felt like we just didn't have any energy the whole game.
Yeah. We had no energy, no pep, no, you know what I'm saying, no enthusiasm, nothing, man. You know, and Vanderbilt wanted to win. They couldn't play a bowl game. They come to play. They play like they want to win a bowl, go to a bowl game and see the results.
Yes, sir. Now, Mr. Robinson, what was your main takeaway from this game?
I think our play call was pretty shoddy, man. You know, we just gave up too many big plays. We gave up too much, man, to Vanderbilt. Offense didn't do jack. We didn't tackle well. I mean, there's a lot of things that I could say on and on, but, you know, I mean, just overall, we didn't play like we wanted to win, man. You know, and it showed. It showed, you know. So, there's not much to say. You know what I'm saying? Now let's get ready for next year.
Yes, sir. Now, Carson, what were your main takeaways from the game?
Some of the main takeaways were already said by Tony. You know, I felt like we didn't come out there to play that day, and Vanderbilt came out to play a lot harder than we did, and they put us in the ground. I also felt like our offense wasn't moving the ball at all. You know, Callaway made that good catch in the end zone, but we needed our running backs to make more yards. The defense just kept on holding us. Our defense was giving up too many points and yards. You know, it just was an all-around.
Yep.
All around poor effort, man.
Yeah,
You know,
all around poor effort.
I was saying they didn't want they had no fight in them, man. No fight whatsoever. So and it showed.
Yep.
And it showed. Oh my. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
right now, a hot topic with Tennessee football has been this offensive coordinator coaching search as we fired Tyson Helton. If you didn't know that, well, spoiler alert, we fired Tyson Helton. So, what kind of coach do you think we're looking for? What kind of person do you need? Do we need to fill this position, Mr. Robinson? Who do you think we need?
What do you think? It's gonna teach the quarterback how to get rid of the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You know, somebody's gonna help this kid, man, so that he doesn't get himself killed.
Now,
you know what I mean?
I do.
You know, let's see. Receiver wise, who do we have coming back next year? Receiver wise.
What?
Right?
Yep.
So we got some guys that need to step up, which I think we do.
We do.
I think we do, and I think we just need to, you know, be patient. Let Pruitt and the staff get what you know. What I'm saying we got to rebuild. You know,
Right.
they know what we need, and we just gotta give some time.
That's right.
Yep. You gotta give time.
Trust the process, right, Mr. Robinson?
Yeah, those guys didn't have much trust in coaches because you know their coach all along been Bush Jones. You know, so it's been they went through a hard struggle, man. Those guys went through a hard struggle, so you know.
Right. Now, what do you guys? I want to know your thoughts on this. I haven't even asked Carson this in the before we got started or anything. What are your all's thoughts on this new commitment that we have? Carson, what about you first? What do you think?
About the new football commit.
Yeah, about the new football commitment.
I see like our recruiting is starting to pile up here. I'm liking the way Jeremy Pruitt's being able to get out there and recruit. Most importantly, the guy that I'm pretty sure you're talking about, Elijah, is the pocket passer from the 2020 class.
Yes, Harrison.
Yep. I think we need a pocket passer, but with a pocket passer, he's got to stand in the pocket and be able to throw the ball. So our offensive line has got to get to work on that, and that's a main takeaway for next year. Is we got to have our offensive line healthy, be able to block for our quarterbacks because Jared Garantano took a lot of hits this year, and I don't know who the quarterback's going to be next year. Probably Garantano, unless somebody steps up in off-season workouts. But, we're just going to have to build up our offensive line. That's the thing I'm going to be looking forward to for next year.
What about you, Mr. Robinson? What do you think about this new commitment?
Well, we're going to be okay. We just got to get that both sides of the line right. You know, offense and defense, man. That's what you got to do. That's how you win ball games. You can't win that if you don't have an offensive line or defensive line. You know?
That's right.
That's where it starts at, man, in the trenches.
That's how we win ball games,
man. That's where you win the games at, man. So.
That is where you win the games at. Now, today for those of the people listening, we've got Walgreens is our sponsor. Thank you so much to them for sponsoring this episode. And Walgreens they're great for whatever you need health wise. Now, we also have a ton of other fantastic sponsors. We've got a new merch shop. So guys, let's take a short commercial break and thank our sponsors.
The way we listen to and experience music is undergoing a profound change. access to nearly all the music in the world at our fingertips and in our pockets is remarkable. And if that place could actually accommodate and support the artists who make the music, not just the top-tier artists, but the kids in their bedrooms too, provide them all with a home and a way to engage with their audiences, that would be pretty great. And that's what we set out to do with Apple Music.
Millions of businesses count on Fiverr every day to get things done faster, better, and on budget. Fiverr.com is the world's largest marketplace for the professional and creative services you need. Sign up today for free at Fiverr.com.
doTERRA On Guard is one of the most popular blends of doTERRA. Its uplifting cinnamon citrus aroma is enjoyed by the whole family. If you like doTERRA On Guard protected blend,
Mr. Robinson will be going back live in just a second.
We're all at the corner.
We're on commercial. Yeah, we're on commercial break right now. So.
Good thing Walgreens gets you in and out in no time, so you can find relief fast with solutions like Advil.
All right, I'm connected.
At the corner of happy and healthy.
Alexa, set an alarm for 7 a.m.
Alarm set for 7 a.m. tomorrow.
IAVS 16 from iHeart, the first major brand to offer bedside speaker systems with Alexa built right in.
All right, guys, this is the. All right, guys, we're back on. Here we go. Let me turn my mic on. Here we go. Let's see. All right, guys, we are back on the Give 'em 6 podcast. It's Elijah. It's Carson. Thanks for tuning in. And sorry, my mic's a little bit wacky here. Let's get that straightened out. All right. So right now we have the great former Tennessee Volunteer Tony Robinson on with us. Now, what is it, Carson? All right, Cars. So, what do you think about this latest basketball game, Carson?
I don't know. I mean, I think that in the Kansas game, like I talked about, it's just been, it's just tough. It was a tough loss. I stayed up and watched every single minute of that game, and it's like, we played hard out there, and Kansas is a good basketball team, and they come out at the very end and they started playing how they should play, and they just won the overtime. On to Eastern Kentucky. We dominated that game. Obviously, we would. Another good win. Hopefully, it can bump us up in the rankings maybe a spot or so.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season for the basketball.
Mr. Robinson, what do you think about this basketball game?
Well, I think it's just and I like what they do. I like what I see. I've been together for a while, so they're gonna do some things, man. They're gonna do a lot of things. So I like it, man. I just got back in town, so I haven't seen much of them. So that person just can't.
Right. Now, Carson, any thoughts on our basketball team in general?
Like I said, we're a good all-around team. We work good together. They all have good chemistry. They're able to move the ball down the court and get passes down low into the outside. Also, our defense is able to really get into the offense's mind.
They are
able to block a lot of shots, contest a lot of shots. Everything I've said is what you really need to be a significant, college basketball top 5 team, and that's what they are.
That is. Now, let's talk a little bit here about the college football playoffs. Cars, you first. Any thoughts about this college football playoff? Anything you want to say?
All right, well, I mean, it's got to come down to the conference championship.
Right.
And Notre Dame doesn't have a conference championship, but so you're sitting Alabama and Georgia. You know, you throw in an example, say Georgia beats Alabama. Do they both get in? Yes, they both get in. But if Alabama beats Georgia and it's a close game, some people have said, well, will Georgia stay in? I don't think so. And this is why Ohio State and Oklahoma play in their own conference championship.
Right.
They both have one loss. One of them wins and one of them loses.
Right.
That one's going into the playoffs.
Yep.
I'm sorry, but Notre Dame has to stay in the playoffs. They're undefeated. They're like Alabama and Clemson, the only 3 undefeated teams. They'll stay in the playoffs. As much as I don't want Notre Dame into the playoffs, they got to be there. It either comes down to Georgia, Oklahoma, and Ohio State, and like I said, Ohio State wins, Oklahoma loses, or Oklahoma wins, Ohio State loses. One of those two will be the 4th spot in the college football playoffs.
Yep.
That's saying if Georgia loses.
Mr. Robinson, do you have any thoughts about this college football playoff?
Well, I think that Oklahoma has a good shot of getting in there.
They do.
I think they have a good shot. I look at Alabama, Clemson. I like Oklahoma. And what was the other one?
Ohio State.
Not Notre Dame. I don't really, Ohio State don't really impress me too much. I'll say Notre Dame, 4th spot. But I don't see anybody giving Alabama any confidence until Clemson. And, I think that's like the best team that it's got a good chance of beating Alabama. They got good defense and they can score points too.
Right.
So you know what I mean? So I think it just comes down to who wants it the best. Who wants it the best. Who wants it.
That's right.
And the team that makes the least amount of mistakes.
That's right. And it would be really great if we could have a championship where it's like Notre Dame and Clemson and have Alabama eliminated for once. I doubt that'll happen. I just can't stand Alabama, getting into these playoff games every single year after year.
Well, I can't stand Notre Dame getting into the playoffs. They're not in a conference. Best team they played this year was Michigan. They played Michigan and Syracuse. And they're saying now they're competing. They only win by 7 versus a 5-7 USC team. And you're really asking yourself, this team might be undefeated, but it's almost like you're putting it like UCF. They've been undefeated, but they don't play anybody, so they don't need to go to the college football playoffs. But to the committee's mind, they're going. But it just doesn't make any sense to me. They don't have a conference championship, but they're automatically in. And they also beat Michigan first game of the season, which first week of the season, your football team's first game, it's not always going to be the best showing.
Right. But you have to think about this, Carson. Would you rather have a Notre Dame in Alabama, or do you want Alabama in the championship? Do you want them to advance high in the playoffs? Rather than Notre Dame?
For recruiting, no. Not all. It's not going to matter anyways. They're number 1 in recruiting every year almost. But I mean, if they go up and they win, I'd like to see 2 SEC teams in the championship. But that's just me.
Now, Mr. Robinson, since you last came on, we've started 2 new segments. We've started a segment called Elijah's Pruitt Quote of the Week, where I give a quote from Jeremy Pruitt. And then we've started another segment, and the listeners love this one. It's called the Carson Game of the Week, and Carson gives his top game pick. So Yep. So here's my quote, and I'll explain why I like it after I say it, because it might just seem kind of normal at first. So my Pruitt quote of the week is this. Jeremy Pruitt said in his Monday press conference, "We've got to take what we got. We need to go back and we need to finish well in the classroom. Start off-season conditioning. I don't know. This is new for me." And I like this because it shows how Jeremy Pruitt is putting his focus in the right direction. And it shows that what his priorities are good priorities. What do you think, Mr. Robinson?
Well, I didn't get a chance to hear his press conference, but Coach Pruitt, man, I got all the confidence in the world in it because he knows what it takes to play in the SEC, and he knows what type of athletes it takes. So I don't have to listen to him at a press conference to know what kind of players we need in the SEC. So we got the right man for the job. We got a good coaching staff. Just give him time to get some players here. So because he's gonna get some winners here. He's gonna get some winners. Just give him time.
Just give him time. We gotta trust that process. Now, here's our other segment. Listeners, you love this segment. It's the Carson Game of the Week. Carson, give us your Game of the Week and other games.
Carson Game of the Week. I always start off with the third one. There's Conference Championship Week, so it's going to be a good weekend of football. You guys got to tune in to all these games. But this time, you know what? I'm going to start off with the first game. And the first game goes to Georgia and Alabama. I mean, you can't get number 1 and number 4. That's the playoff game. But it's going to be a great game. I can see a competitive battle, and I can also see a blowout. Another game I like to see is Texas and Oklahoma. Texas beat them in the regular season. I don't know if Texas will be able to beat Oklahoma again, but that's just my opinion. And another game you can tune in tomorrow night, Utah and Washington, number 17 Utah, number 11 Washington. Washington beat Washington State in a snowy day last Friday, so it should be a good game.
It should be a good game. Mr. Robinson, do you think those are some pretty good games?
Oh yeah, I think those are good picks. Yeah, I couldn't have picked them up no better. I could have picked them up better myself. Yeah, I like those. The competitive games with Alabama and Georgia, and Washington, and Washington and that's
Utah.
gonna be a good battle. That's gonna be a good battle, and the Oklahoma Texas game. That's gonna be yeah, I think those are 3 good picks.
Yep.
So who do you pick?
Carson?
In those 3 games, I pick Alabama to beat Georgia, Oklahoma to beat Texas, and I pick Utah to beat Washington because I feel like Utah's going.
Go. You first. Carson? All right, it's reconnecting with Carson right now. I think we rarely lost him. Oh boy, here we go.
Okay.
All right, here we go. I gotta call him back.
Yeah.
All right, for all you guys listening. All right, Carson, who do you pick to win in the Utah game?
I picked Utah to beat Washington. I think they're trying to make a News Bowl.
All right. Now, we've been kind of giving shout-outs to our latest Twitter followers. This time, we're going to give a shout-out to Selena Summers, author of Empowered and many other books. She's helped expose the Haslams for the different things they've done to this program. She's great, worked with Tom Mattingly on this latest book. Thank you to her for being our latest and greatest follower. And remember to be our 10th follower. She's our 9th. Now, anything you want to add before we close here, Mr. Robinson?
No, I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm trying to get me something to eat here and everything, but I did enjoy myself. I enjoy coming on with you guys, man. This season, And if you need me anytime, just give me a call.
Thank you. Carson, anything you want to add here before we wrap up? Oh boy, we lost the connection again. We got a weak connection here, y'all. We got a weak connection here. Oh, we lost him. Okay, I gotta call him back and see if he's got anything else to add. All right.
Hello?
Anything else to add, Carson?
Thanks, Tony, for coming on again. I enjoyed it.
My pleasure.
And there's a storm coming, and it's full of orange.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on.
We'll do some basketball here, because I got to go to the game, though.
Yeah, we'll do some basketball. We'll get in touch.
Yeah, definitely. All right. You got to take care of yourself, man. Look forward to talking to you guys pretty soon.
All right. Bye.
All right. See you.
All right. Good night.
All right. So, Carson, anything you want to add real quick as we wrap up here?
Well, like I said, I had a good time. I enjoy it. This is our last post game, so on to next season. We will continue to do episodes on all sorts of Tennessee topics, sports topics. We'll introduce everything. There's a storm coming, and it's full of orange in basketball, and it's coming to next season for football. It's a sad episode, but a happy episode. We were glad to get Tony on. Great season. Thanks everybody for watching the whole entire season.
Yeah, and guys, storm coming. There's also storm coming merch. You can get that shop.spreadshirt.com/give'em6podcast. There'll be links to that. Make sure to follow us. Be following us on social media so you can get the latest updates. Subscribe to our email list. If you guys want to see what goes on behind the scenes, if you're listening on the edited episode, I mean, hey, you can. We enjoy releasing that stuff. It's you can even if you want to figure out if we said something or another, there's subtitles or whatever. Sometimes it's hard to hear people like Tony Robinson when they're on the phone. It's a little bit blurry like it was today on the live stream. So make sure to go to the edited episode. So guys, the Give Him 6 podcast is always
scoring touchdowns.
Thanks for listening. And let's wrap up this episode.